I was taking a quick breather in the wedding hall when a woman suddenly pointed at me, screaming at me, like I was some cheap waitress. Everyone else is working their butts off.
How dare you sit here and slack off?
You undisciplined brat. Now get your butt out there and get to work. Bring out all the wine. Right now. I was completely stunned. Just as I was about to say something, she let out a cold sneer, looking me up and down with absolute disgust. I absolutely despise shameless girls like you, always trying to gold dig your way up, dressing all flashy and seductive. You're just desperate to marry into money, aren't you? Take a look in the mirror first.
Now get out there and wipe the tables.
If you dare slack off for one more second, I'll make sure your boss fires you on the spot. I was utterly speechless. Get to work? Me?
But I'm not a waitress.
I'm the bride for today's wedding.
I'm not a wait. Not what?
You dare talk back to me? The woman haughtily cut me off,
Staring at me as she barked. We don't pay you to sit around and slack off. Everyone else is working? And here you are, slacking off. Who gave you the nerve to sit here and rest? And look at what you're wearing. Is that what a waitress is supposed to wear? Are you here to work? Or are you here to seduce men? Her relentless barrage of insults left me completely bewildered. It took me a moment to process what was happening. Honestly, it was almost laughable. I had just gotten back from a business trip today, only to be blindsided by my dad's announcement that I was getting married today. Supposedly, the groom was some brilliant young talent my dad had handpicked himself. Even though I hated the idea of an arranged marriage, I still wanted to see what this guy actually looked like. So without even changing my clothes, I dragged my suitcase and rushed straight to the hotel. But instead of meeting my groom, I got mistaken for a waitress and got screamed at right out of the gate. That waitress is completely clueless.
How dare she slack off right under Miss Goo's nose?
I know, right? Everyone knows she's Mr. Goo's sister in name only. But in reality, since Mr. Goo is marrying someone else today, she's absolutely fuming.
That waitress just walked right into the line of fire.
She is dead meat today. Hearing the whispers surrounding me, my expression darkens. Sister? Sounds more like his little side chick. Thinking Shen is the guy my dad arranged for me to marry. I've never even met him before. I'd only heard he was quite the catch. Handsome and dashing. But looking at this mess now, it's obvious he already has a girlfriend. Why the hell did he agree to an arranged marriage with me then? What are you glaring at?
Shen Yu glares at me.
Her face twisted in rage. You've got some serious nerve. First you slack off on the job, and now you dare to glare at a customer? Do you seriously think you're going to hook some rich guy at this wedding?
Let me tell you something.
No matter how pretty you try to dress, you're still just a low-class waitress.
Do you have any idea who I am?
With just one phone call, I can have you packing your bags and kicked out of here. Everyone around us starts staring, eagerly waiting for a scene. The whispers and giggles get louder. I've officially had enough. Sure, I didn't have time to change out of my travel clothes, but I'm literally just wearing a simple skirt. How does that make me dressed to seduce? And even if I did dress up, what the hell does that have to do with trying to hook a man? I literally just got back from a business trip. I'm exhausted. I'm irritated, and now I'm getting screamed at for absolutely no reason. If today wasn't supposed to be my own wedding, but looking at this now, Sam Skimshin already has a girlfriend. There's absolutely no point in going through with this wedding anyway. So don't worry about getting me fired. After all, I'm not even a server at this hotel. Today's wedding? It's officially canceled. The entire room fell dead silent. Siyut's face completely froze. Then, she sized me up from head to toe once more. A sneer crept onto her face. Not a server, huh?
Then who the hell are you? You think you can cancel this wedding?
What? Do you seriously expect us to just do what you say? She rolled her eyes at me, suddenly realizing something. Her voice suddenly spiked. Oh, I get it now. You're one of Jinshen's. She clenched her fist tightly, her nails digging deep into her palms, her face twisting into a terrifying, livid expression.
Unbelievable. No wonder you're dressed like this.
Dressing up so provocatively. Isn't it just to get a man's attention? Too bad you're way too late. He's marrying someone else today. Not a desperate, pathetic homewrecker like you. You might not be a server, but sneaking into this hotel like a thief. Isn't it just to make a scene on his wedding day? Just to get him to look at you? Have you no shame at all?
Today is his wedding, and you run in here to crash it.
I can't believe you'd stoop this low.
She got more and more worked up,
her anger building with every word, her eyes practically spitting fire. The next second, she suddenly raised her hand. Smack! A sharp, echoing slap landed squarely across my face. Holding my cheek, I felt a searing heat spread across my skin. My ears buzzed loudly, and my fury instantly boiled over. Let me tell you something. The only person who belongs by Jingshen's side is me. Even if he has to enter a business marriage for the sake of the company, so what? Stop. From beginning to end, the only person in his heart has always been me.
Neither you nor that marriage alliance bride will ever steal him away from me.
Someone like you
isn't even worthy
she shrieked, completely hysterical.
Her face was twisted with pure madness.
My onlookers began whispering among themselves. Then, keeping their voices incredibly low, she actually dared to show up? She must have a real death wish.
Everyone knows how much President Gu spoils Miss Gu.
I know, right?
President Gu's arranged marriage is just a formality anyway.
The only one he actually cares about is Miss Gu. Even Miss Score hasn't officially married him yet.
And yet, this woman still dared to show up.
She really doesn't know her place.
Hearing the whispers around her, Gusiyo
Grew even more arrogant. She spun around, her eyes locking onto the nearby security guards.
What are you all still standing there for?
Throw her out, right now!
Jin Chen, I'll make sure she pays dearly today.
At her command, several guards exchanged glances and closed in on me. My face fell, and I instinctively took a step back.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm warning you. I am not a waiter. Even if you aren't, you're still just one of Jin Chen's.
Kuchu screeched, cutting me off.
Her face was twisted in rage.
Hurry up and grab her.
Throw her out of here. At those words, my eyes narrowed. In all my years, this was the first time anyone had ever dared to treat me this way. She really has a death wish. I couldn't take it anymore. I clenched my fist and threw a heavy punch straight at the guard in front of me. Ah! With a sharp scream of pain, the guard crashed flat onto his back. The remaining guards froze, completely terrified. They exchanged stunned glances, completely lost. For a moment, not a single person dared to step forward. Taking advantage of their hesitation, I lunged forward right in front of Gusia. I raised my hand and slapped her across the face with all my might. Gusia collapsed to the ground, looking completely pathetic. She stared up at me, her eyes wide with shock. Her face was filled with sheer disbelief. She was clearly utterly dazed by the blow. I took 2 steps toward her, cornering her. That slap you just gave me, this is payback. Siu, the wedding is off, and it is time to settle the score for everything else. What do you think you are doing? An angry roar erupted from behind me. A middle-aged man, his face dark with fury, came striding over. The moment his eyes fell on Kyusyu sitting pathetically on the floor, his eyes widened in pure horror. He practically scrabbled over, desperately rushing to help her up.
Miss Gu, are you okay? What on earth happened?
Only then did Gusia finally snap out of her daze. She violently slapped Manager Wang's hand away, spun around, and glared at me with pure hatred. You actually dared to hit me?
Manager Wang, open your eyes and look at this.
Is this piece of trash one of your hotel waitresses?
She dressed up like this on purpose.
And now she actually had the nerve to lay a hand on me. Is your hotel begging to be shut down?
Hearing those words, Manager Wang's face turned completely pale. He whipped his head around to glare at me,
Before quickly turning back to Gusia with a groveling smile. I'm so sorry, so incredibly sorry, Miss Do.
Please, don't be angry, Miss Gu.
This waitress must be new here.
She clearly doesn't know how things work around here.
She's just an ignorant, low-class nobody.
Please, be the bigger person, and don't stoop to her pathetic level. With that, he marched over to me, poking his finger right in my face and screaming,
Who the hell hired you? Do you have any idea who Miss Gu is? She is a highly honored VIP of our hotel.
You've got some nerve offending someone like her.
Get down on your knees right now and get Miss Gu for forgiveness. Apologize. I caught my breath.
Furled on my brow as I glared coldly at him.
I'm not a server at your hotel.
And you have absolutely no right to make me apologize to her.
As soon as those words left my mouth,
The manager's face stiffened instantly.
but a split second later, he had the nerve to keep up the lie.
You are a server at our hotel.
Now hurry up and apologize to Miss Gu.
I stared at the warning glaring in his eyes. I couldn't help but sneer on the inside. This place is a famously high-end hotel, catering exclusively to the rich and powerful. If word got out that some sketchy intruder had sneaked in, their reputation would be utterly ruined. That's why, no matter who I actually was, he had to pin me as a hotel server right now.
Gitsuko. She's new here and doesn't know the rules. She definitely didn't mean to offend you.
He turned back to Sishia and bowed deeply again, a sickeningly fake smile plastered on his face. How would you like to punish her?
We'll do whatever you want.
Once the wedding ceremony is over today,
I'll fire her on the spot.
I'll make sure she never finds another job in this city again. He spoke, suddenly dropping his voice to a whisper. Mr. Gu is right outside. He'll be here any second. On such a joyous day, if we make him unhappy, before he could even finish, a cold, sharp voice suddenly cut in. Think Jinshin walked over. What exactly would make me unhappy?
His eyes landed on Sia's red, swollen cheek,
And his brows furrowed instantly. What happened? Siu, who did this to you?
The moment she saw him, Siu's arrogant attitude vanished instantly, replaced by a look of pathetic victimhood.
Jinshin, it's all because of this hotel server. I only asked her to do a quick favor for me, but she refused. And she actually hit me. She clutched her cheek, her eyes welling up with tears, looking as though she had suffered some unspeakable injustice. Who does she think she is?
Dinky Jen's face darkened instantly.
How dare she lay a finger on you? Don't worry, Sia. Whoever touched you today is going to pay. I'll make them pay tenfold to get you justice.
Standing right there, hearing this, I couldn't help but let out a cold sneer. I spoke up casually. I'm the one who hit her. And you, Gujinshin, how exactly do you plan on getting justice for her?
As soon as the words left my mouth,
Gujinshin turned around.
his gaze lazily swept across my face for 2 seconds.
Who the hell are you? Where do you get the nerve to bully my girl? I was stunned. I found it absolutely ridiculous. Today is literally our wedding day, and he doesn't even recognize me. Clearly, he didn't want to marry me at all.
Jinshin,
Sia stepped forward.
she was definitely trying to throw herself at you. That's why she's playing the victim.
You're about to get married. Yet there are still so many women who have designs on you.
I wonder what your future wife would think. I also don't know if she'll even tolerate me.
顾金晨，超哥，
Slowly ruffling her hair. Don't worry.
Even if I marry that woman,
You're the only one in my heart. When the con comes, I'll move you into our home so we can be together every single day.
after all, once she marries me and becomes my wife, she'll have to do whatever I say, and she'll just have to accept it.
Hearing this, Shiyu's face instantly lit up with a grin. My onlookers exchanged glances, whispering in hushed tones. Mr. Gu is so good to Miss Gu. It's just a shame for the future Mrs. Gu.
Well, aren't all wealthy arranged marriages like this? Everyone just gets what they need. I'm sure the future Mrs. Go will come to terms with it. But she's probably going to be miserable every single day. Every single word of their gossip drifted right into my ears.
My anger instantly flared up.
According to my father,
Tenkinan always put on a perfect, gentlemanly act in front of him.
looking so elegant and refined,
Who would have thought he'd be this shameless behind closed doors?
there is no way in hell I am marrying a man like this. At that thought, I took a deep breath and immediately got ready to text my dad.
Seeing my move, Bushia snarled. What do you think you're doing?
She suddenly lunged at me, pointing right in my face and screaming,
You dare cross me today!
"Nobody is coming to save you.
You still think Jinshin's going to protect you?
Someone beat him up, rip his face to shreds."
Let's see how smug he can be then.
The moment she finished speaking,
Several hulking men closed in on me at once. My people shrunk in panic.
if it were just those regular security guards, I could have handled them.
But these men are Gu Jinchen's elite professional bodyguards. There was no way I was a match for them. I took 2 steps back, my heart racing with panic.
Stay back. Do you even know who I am?
Unchi-chen, I'm warning you.
Tell them to get lost right now. I don't care who the hell you are.
Anyone who crosses UA deserves to suffer.
Deng Chichin cast a dismissive glance at me.
And, without a second thought, gestured to the bodyguards with a flick of his chin. Countless fists were about to rain down on me.
Instinctively, I shut my eyes.
Stop.
Think.
I stood by the sofa in the lounge area, a stark red handprint burning on my cheek. Waves of sharp pain radiated from the slap, while the gazes of the crowd pierced me like needles. The whispers around me were filled with mocking amusement.
Yet, my face remained perfectly calm.
I kept my spine straight.
My cold gaze sweeping across the faces of those enjoying my misery.
There wasn't a single trace of panic on my face.
Only a bone-chilling coldness.
CDO Shen,
My father.
dressed in the bespoke, hand-tailored suit, his statement carried a commanding majesty, and he exuded an aura as unshakable as a mountain. Every step he took on the marble floor carried the weight of an army. Having arrived early to check on the wedding preparations,
He'd witnessed everything that just happened from afar. And right now, a monstrous burning fury was rising in his eyes.
his face is dark as iron, cold as a frozen abyss.
The pressure radiating from him is so suffocating that no one can breathe.
In an instant, every eye in the room is locked onto him. The whispering stops dead in its tracks.
The lobby falls into an eerie, dead silence.
Gu Jinshin stands right in the middle of crowd.
He is clad in a bespoke black suit, his shamsum face, wearing his usual look of smug arrogance and indifference. Seeing President Chen walk over, he instinctively tones down his careless attitude. Bowing slightly, he says with a respectful and deferential tone, "President Shen, you've arrived at the perfect time. Everything for the wedding is ready, and Miss Shen should be arriving any minute. I even had a one-of-a-kind, custom French wedding gown made just for her." His gaze casually sweeps over me, his eyes dripping with pure contempt. He sees me as nothing more than an eyesore, a clueless hotel server who doesn't know her place. He doesn't respect me at all. I doesn't respect me at all, as I am nothing but a speck of insignificant dust. But President Shen doesn't even look at him.
His eyes lock right onto my reddened cheek, and an instant wave of deep heartache and absolute fury surges in his eyes. His voice is low and commanding, carrying a power that absolutely no one dares to question. She is already here. Gu Jingshan freezes. His brow furrows slightly, and he follows President Shen's gaze, turning his head to look at me. President Shen, you must be joking. This is just a clueless new server who doesn't know the rules. She's just ruining the wedding preparations. I will have her thrown out immediately, so she doesn't ruin anything. Before he can even finish, he shoots a look at the two bodyguards in black behind him. The bodyguards are massive, with fierce, menacing looks on their faces. They step forward immediately, reaching out to grab me roughly.
Stop right there! President Shen roars.
His voice isn't loud, but it carries the crushing weight of thunder. The entire lobby instantly falls so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Even the shimmering light from the crystal chandeliers seems to freeze. Every single guest holds their breath, their eyes snapping first to President Shen, and then right back to me. Shock and confusion are written all over his face. Tingshan freezes right where he stands. The arrogance on his face instantly freezes. He stares blankly at Mr. Shen. Mr. Shen. Mr. Shen.
What do you mean by that?
Mr. Shen raises his hand and points directly at me. He says every single word with chilling precision. His voice is cold as ice.
She is Shen Yu, the eldest daughter of the Shen family, and today's bride. Have you no shame?
These words strike like a sudden thunderclap, echoing through the hall. Instantly, the entire room erupts into utter chaos. Guests gasp in shock, whispering and murmuring to one another. The shocked whispers and wild speculations rise one after another, almost loud enough to blow the roof off the hall.
What? She is Miss Shen? Today's bride! Mr. Gu actually mistook his own bride for a waitress? Oh my god. The daughter of the Shen family was publicly insulted and beaten.
Zhuge family is completely finished at this time.
That $100 million alliance is completely ruined. Couldn't Mr. Gu even recognize her?
Miss Shen has such an elegant, noble vibe. How could she possibly be? Every last drop of color drains from Gu Jingshan's face. His pupils violently contract. He feels as if he's been struck by lightning. His entire body begins to shake uncontrollably. His handsome face is filled with absolute shock, panic, and sheer disbelief. His lips tremble.
Miss Shen.
You are Shen Yu.
Cecilia stands right beside him.
Wearing a beautiful, delicate blue princess dress, her makeup completely flawless. Right now, her face is as pale as a sheet, and she's shivering from head to toe.
Her eyes filled with terror and absolute disbelief.
She shakes her head violently. No, impossible.
That's impossible. She's clearly just a waitress. You're lying. You must be lying to me.
Watching the two of them descend into absolute panic.
Making complete fools of themselves. A cold, mocking smile slowly plays on my lips. My voice is dead calm. Well, Mr. Gu, do you recognize me now?
Just a moment ago, Guxia accused me of trying to climb the social ladder.
She even tried to think my across the face in front of everyone.
And you just stood by and let her.
You even ordered your people to strip me naked and throw me out of here. Every single word echoes clearly through the dead silent hall. Every word is sharp. Every word cuts straight to the bone.
Gu Jingshan staggers backward.
He can barely keep his footing. The color drains completely from his face.
Shame, panic,
And sheer terror clash in his eyes, leaving him looking utterly pathetic. He rushes forward 2 steps, desperate to get close to me.
but I coldly step aside, avoiding his touch.
Humiliated grovels in sheer panic.
Miss, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I really didn't recognize you.
You look so much more beautiful than your photos.
I lost my mind. It's all my fault.
His usual arrogance has completely vanished.
All that's left is a pathetic, desperate attempt to beg for mercy. His eyes are filled with pure desperation.
President Shen's gaze cuts like a razor. He glares at Gu Jingshan and the trembling side beside him. You didn't recognize her?
So you mistook my daughter for a waitress?
Is this how the illustrious Gu Jingshan?
星金晨是牢坑破例士必死。
He hangs his head so low, wishing the ground would open up and swallow him whole. He can't squeeze out a single word. He can only stand there as the whispers of the crowd slap him across the face, over and over again.
Yu is so terrified her knees buckle.
She is on the verge of collapsing to the ground.
Her eyes dart around in panic.
Not daring to look at me or President Shen. Her face is a mask of sheer horror and chaos. Her lips tremble violently, but she can't make a sound. The whispering around them grows into a roar. The whispering around them, mocking, sneering eyes pierce through Gu Jingshan and Guzi like 1,000 needles. Their dignity is completely shattered. They have become the ultimate laughingstock of the entire room. I watched the farce in front of me with utter calm. Not a single ripple of emotion stirred in my heart.
Only a cold, detached stillness.
From the very beginning, this marriage was nothing more than a transactional alliance.
Renji never once respected me.
He had even harbored secret feelings for Gusi long ago. This farce was bound to happen sooner or later.
The atmosphere in the lobby grew suffocatingly tense.
Awkwardness, mockery, and sheer shock filled the air.
Everyone was waiting to see how the Guo family would clean up this mess.
Mr. Shen, Miss Shen,
This is all just a misunderstanding.
if we had known you were Miss Shen, this mix-up would never have happened.
There is really no need to blow this out of proportion.
Fren tried to brush off his offenses as if they were nothing.
Thinking everything up to an insignificant misunderstanding.
Blow this out of proportion?
I let out a cold laugh, my gaze piercingly cold.
Gachuo blindly accused me of gold digging in front of everyone.
Raised her hand to slap me, while you blindly enabled her.
Even threatening to strip me down and throw me out.
And you call that blowing things out of proportion?
Every word of mine clearly recounted their vile actions, ruthlessly exposing their ugly faces.
Silence fell over the entire hall.
Everyone heard me loud and clear.
想续嗓门那口可惹的细皮。
Her tone laced with defiance and lame excuses. Well, I didn't know you were Miss Shen.
Who told you to dress so casually anyway? You look just like a waitress. That's the only reason I mistook you. She remained utterly unrepentant.
Shifting all the blame onto me? Her spoiled, arrogant, and ill-mannered nature was fully on display.
So, because I just got back from a business trip,
And didn't have time to change? I deserve to be treated like that?
I raised an eyebrow, my voice calm but suffocatingly intense.
This you. Do you really think you're so high and mighty that you can do whatever you want? Seeing me cornering her, Gu Xingshen's face grew darker by the second. His voice now carried a sharp edge of impatience and threat.
Shen Yu.
That is enough.
It was nothing more than a misunderstanding.
Why must you keep clinging to this? Our marriage alliance involves a $100 million deal.
With things turning ugly, he brought up the partnership once again, trying to use business interests to force me to compromise.
His deep-seated selfishness and greed were completely exposed.
I looked at him and found him utterly pathetic.
A $100 million deal. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became.
In your eyes, the humiliation I suffered,
And my trampled dignity are worth less than Gu Jingshen's.
what on earth are you saying?
Don't you dare. Humiliated and angered by my words, Gu Jingshen sapped, his tone turning harsh. So, what if you're Miss Shen?
My Guo family isn't some pushover. If we really end up tearing each other down,
Your Shen family won't get off easy either. He still showed absolutely no remorse,
and even began to threaten.
completely forgetting that he was the one in the wrong in the first place.
He was arrogant and conceited to the absolute extreme.
My father's face darkened completely.
The aura around him turned terrifyingly cold. He roared in a thunderous voice.
You are absolutely hopeless. Even if my Shen family has to abandon every single partnership,
We will never let my daughter suffer even a fraction of an insult.
this engagement is cancelled.
Gu Jingshen's face went pale instantly.
His face was a mask of sheer disbelief. He instantly lost his cool.
Mr. Shen, please don't be impulsive. The engagement cannot be called off, and the partnership cannot stop either.
The Grun family cannot survive without the Shen family's backing.
He no longer had any of his previous arrogance.
Desperate and anxious,
His face was filled with sheer panic and desperation. Yu also burst into tears of terror.
Lay into Gingshen, she wailed.
Brother! We can't cancel the engagement. We can't survive without the Shen family.
The crowd of guests erupted into whispers once again.
Everyone waiting eagerly to watch the Gu family's complete downfall.
And just then, the sharp, heavy sound of hurried footsteps echoes through the room.
It was Chairman Gu Jingshen's father. As soon as he arrived at the hotel, he heard the commotion in the lobby. Seeing the tense, explosive standoff, he instantly figured out what was going on. His face instantly darkened, looking incredibly grim. His entire body radiated a suppressed, suffocating rage. He immediately spotted my father, whose face was livid with rage, and me, standing there with my eyes red from crying.
He also saw how utterly pathetic
And panicked, Gu Jingchen and Gu Si looked,
His brow furrowed deeply, his expression turning incredibly dark.
as he strode quickly toward us.
Chairman Gu rushed over to my father.
Things stopped. Right in front of him.
And bowed deeply.
His posture was incredibly respectful, without a single trace of his usual wealthy CEO arrogance. President Shen, I am so sorry.
It is entirely my fault for failing to raise my son properly. For raising such an ungrateful, clueless brat who doesn't know his place.
And my utterly foolish daughter, Yu.
Causing Miss Shen to suffer such a terrible injustice. On behalf of the entire Gu family, I apologize to you and Miss Shen. His heart filled with deep, sincere regret.
His eyes were filled with profound guilt and frustration. He was clearly furious.
And truly, deeply remorseful. Chairman Gu, this is not something a simple apology can fix. What your son and Fu did has crossed the line. No one in their right mind could possibly let this slide.
He then turned to me,
Bowing deeply once again, his eyes were filled with heartache and remorse.
his voice tripping with sincerity.
I looked at him, my face completely calm.
And said nothing.
Seeing that I remained silent,
Chairman Gu grew even more panicked.
He whipped his head around and glared furiously at Gu Jingshen.
You worthless brat, he roared. Hurry up and apologize to Miss Shen.
Gu Jingshan's face turned pale.
He hesitated for a moment. In the end, she didn't dare to disobey. She slowly looked up at me.
Panic and reluctance flashing in her eyes. Miss Shen.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. Her voice was incredibly half-hearted. Without a single shred of sincerity, Sharon Gu turned his sharp gaze to Guxia. You too. Apologize to Miss Shen properly.
And make sure you mean it.
Xi was trembling with fear, hesitating, and dragging her feet. Her head hanging low, she mumbled in a tiny voice.
I'm sorry. I stared down at them,
My voice cold and calm. An apology isn't just something you say.
It has to come from the heart.
Bishu, do you actually know what you... Guxiu froze instantly.
She bit her lip, staying silent for a long, agonizing moment. Her eyes brimmed with red, as tears welled up, spinning in her eyes. Every single eye in the room was locked onto her, waiting for her next move. After a long pause,
Sue will slowly raise her head to look at me.
her eyes now filled with genuine guilt and regret.
Miss Shen, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so blind. And judged you as a waitress just because of what you were wearing?
And I definitely shouldn't have lost my temper and attacked you. I was spoiled, arrogant, and out of line. I didn't know how to respect people, and that's entirely my fault.
We really truly understand that now. Her eyes were full of deep remorse.
Regret and absolute sincerity.
As the tears finally spilled over,
They carried the weight of a true apology. Instantly, the entire room fell dead silent. Everyone stood frozen in shock. No one expected the notoriously spoiled and arrogant Xia to ever deliver such a heartfelt apology.
I looked down at her, giving a slight nod.
I accept your apology. I accept... Recognizing your mistakes is what matters. Thank you. Suya sobbed, her tears flowing even faster, but this time they were tears of relief. Thank you for being willing to forgive me. Feng Jingshan froze in utter shock. Then, a flicker of disbelief and sheer joy washed over his face.
Chen Yu let out a massive sigh of relief.
A relieved smile spread across his face as he said, Thank you, Miss Shen,
For your incredible generosity.
I look at Gu Jingshan, and then at our marriage contract. My voice was cold and completely devoid of emotion. I'm calling it off. Hearing this, Gu Jingshan's face drained of all color instantly. His face was filled with utter disbelief. The death.
Miss Shen, please, don't!
I have no desire to marry a man who is in love with someone else and has absolutely zero respect for me. But our families have been business partners for years. It is a mutually beneficial partnership, and there is no need to ruin it over a personal grudge. Our business cooperation can't continue. As soon as those words left my mouth,
董事长果系，人满故我劳嬉戏我，为我上库的国家。
their eyes were filled with deep gratitude. Thank you so much, Miss Shen.
You are truly generous and incredibly understanding.
Think Shen also quickly chimed in. Thank you, Miss Shen. Thank you for your incredible grace. I looked at Gu Jingshan. The one you've always truly loved is Gu Xie. Why let yourself be chained by business interests and make both of you miserable? Gu Chen froze instantly. His eyes flickered with unease. He instinctively looked over at Busier next to him. A swirl of complex emotions flashed through his eyes.
Guilt. Deep affection.
And a long-buried love. So, the one Gu Jingshan has loved all along really is Gu Xiu. The marriage alliance was nothing more than a business transaction. The murmurs in the crowd slowly died down, replaced by nods of understanding. Feng Kuchen fell silent for a long moment. Slowly, his gaze grew firm and resolute. He looked at Xia. His voice, incredibly gentle and sincere. His eyes shone with a deep affection and sincerity she had never seen before. I am so sorry. Before this, I was always chained down by family interests and the burden of a marriage alliance. I didn't dare to face my own heart. I ignored you and made you suffer so much pain, forcing you to stand by and watch me prepare to marry someone else. I am so deeply sorry. The truth is, you're the only one I've ever loved. It's always been you. Ever since I first laid eyes on you when we were young, my heart was yours. I was too weak to stand up to my family, and because of that, I let you suffer for so long. But now, I will never let you hurt again. Will you marry me? His voice trembles with a hint of nerves, but it's overflowing with deep, unwavering devotion. Her eyes are locked on Xie, seeing absolutely no one else but her.
She looks up at him, her eyes wide with utter disbelief.
And they instantly well up with tears. Tears overflow, streaming silently down her cheeks. She nods, her head bobbing up and down eagerly. Choking back a sob, she gasps. I do. Yes, Jingshan, I do. I've waited so many years to hear you say that. I've always loved you. I've been waiting for you this entire time. Yes, I will marry you.
Her soft cries carry years of bottled-up pain, the long, agonizing wait, and finally, the joy of a love reclaimed. In this very moment, all her doubts and heartaches melt away into nothingness. Jinqing reaches out, gently wiping away her tears, and pulls her into his arms, as if she were the most precious thing in the world. His touch is impossibly tender. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I made you wait so long. From now on, I will never let anyone hurt you again. I'm going to cherish you with everything I have and protect you for the rest of my life. Cling to him. Gusiu weeps like a helpless child, nodding fervently as she gasps. The guests loop at the embracing couple, their faces lighting up with warm, heartfelt smiles. They burst into applause, showering them with blessings. The room erupts with thunderous cheers and applause. The beautiful, warm atmosphere completely washes away the earlier tension and conflict. Turn Gu watches them, a proud, relieved smile spreading across his face. He lets out a long, overdue sigh of relief. President Shen, Miss Shen, I truly cannot thank you both enough. If it weren't for you, these two kids would never have realized their true feelings. Now, they can finally be together. Our families can finally put aside our past grudges and move forward in harmony, supporting each other for our mutual benefit. President Shen nods, his icy expression completely softening. A faint smile appears on my face. Good. Let bygones be bygones. From now on, our two families will live in perfect harmony. I nod slightly in agreement. A calm, relieved smile crosses my face. Yeah, may we both find peace, and may everything turn out for the best. This ridiculous farce has finally come to an end. There is no hatred. There is no destruction. Only reconciliation, forgiveness, and a happy ending. Now that the storm is past, the wedding is naturally called off. What started as a chaotic, high society marriage farce became a chance to open up and resolve old grudges. The Shen and Gu families completely abandoned the marriage alliance that bound their business interests. They returned to a genuine, simple, social friendship. Without the chains of a forced marriage, the distance between them faded. Honesty took its place, making their bond purer and stronger than ever. Not only did the two companies keep working together, but they actually deepened their joint ventures, shifting from a forced marriage alliance to a true win-win partnership. A relationship built on equality and mutual support. Their cooperation expanded. Everything ran smoother. Both corporations continued to grow steadily from where they started, thriving day by day. We became a shining example of harmony that everyone in the business world envied. Once Gunjin and Guzi made their relationship official, they completely shed their past restlessness and greed. No longer arrogant or domineering, no longer proud and self-centered, they became mature and grounded, gentle, considerate, and ready to take on real responsibility. Their sweet relationship became the absolute envy of everyone around them.
Feng Jinshen was no longer the cold, profit-driven heir.
The arrogant, unfeeling young master of a wealthy family. Instead, he learned how to treat people with sincerity.
He learned what respect means.
He learned how to love and cherish. He threw himself into managing the company's affairs,
Sharp, capable, and composed.
leading the Gu family steadily forward. At the same time, he showered Guxiu with all his warmth and tenderness,
Pampering her in every possible way, giving in to her every whim.
and spoiling her like a carefree little princess. His eyes were always filled with pure adoration and love. And Guxiu completely shed her spoiled, willful attitude, her arrogant ways, and her petty, narrow-minded personality. After surviving the storm, she truly looked within herself.
Becoming gentle, caring,
Poised and graceful, she grew mature and humble, learning how to respect others and how to put herself in someone else's shoes. She was no longer the childish, tantrum-throwing,
an incredibly bitter little ghost she used to be.
Instead, she grew into an elegant, sophisticated, sincere, and kind-hearted young lady of Du family. She carried herself with such grace and politeness, winning over everyone's hearts, and finally finding true happiness, no longer bound by status or money, or judged by the eyes of the world. Their relationship was free from the schemes and greed of high society marriages. There was only pure, unadulterated love, stability, companionship, and holding each other close. Their bond grew stronger by the day, sharing sweet, peaceful moments, and remaining as deeply in love as the day they started. They became the couple everyone envied. A true match made in heaven,
With Chairman Gu back at the helm of the Gu family.
and Mu Jingchun managing the business with absolute devotion. Coupled with their solid partnership with the Shen family, they completely escaped their previous crisis. Their business began to skyrocket, expanding rapidly day by day, and the family's prestige reached brand new heights. With a harmonious family, a thriving empire, and prosperity all around them. As for me, Shen Yu, after calling off that ridiculous arranged marriage, I finally broke free from the chains of being a mere pawn for family business alliances, living life completely on my own terms, free and wild, doing whatever my heart desires, sharp, focused, and fiercely independent. I no longer have to force myself to play nice just for the family's interests, or bending over backward to please others. No more swallowing my pride, or putting up with their disrespect, or losing who I really am. Finally, I can live life exactly the way I want, chasing my own career and my own happiness. I poured every ounce of my energy into the work I actually love, relying on nothing but my own skills, my talent, and hard work to build a real name for myself in this industry. And honestly, I'm absolutely crushing it, becoming a real powerhouse, young, successful, and the ultimate example of a sharp, independent woman. I'm living with fierce confidence, strong, powerful, and absolutely radiant. In my free time, I travel across the entire country, taking in the mountains, the rivers, and the endless oceans, experiencing breathtaking new sights, and meeting all kinds of fascinating, wonderful people. My life is incredibly full and exciting, and my soul is finally at peace and whole. No longer chained down by a loveless marriage or cheap business deal, living with absolute clarity and freedom. Spontaneous, untamed, and happy. I am sharp. I am independent. I am free, and I am strong. I don't need a marriage certificate to prove my worth anymore, and I will never force myself to cater to anyone ever again. My days are quiet, peaceful, and beautiful, filled only with a deep love for life and excitement for the future. Once the storm finally settled, Yu was completely consumed by guilt. He couldn't stop thinking about how incredibly rude and vicious he'd been to me, and it was weighing heavily on his mind. He kept looking for any chance to give me a proper, sincere apology, to make up for his mistakes, and finally clear the air between us. 2 weeks later, Shu carefully put together an exquisite afternoon tea and some elegant gifts, and paid a personal visit to the Shen family home. All of his old arrogance and flashy attitude were completely gone. Now he was gentle, composed, and incredibly respectful. When she saw me, her attitude was incredibly respectful and sincere. She bowed slightly. "Hello, Miss Shen." I looked at her with a gentle smile and said softly, "Please, have a seat." We both sat down on the living room sofa. A maid brought over some delicate tea and pastries. Yu sat with her hands resting on her knees, keeping her posture perfectly straight. She looked at me with absolute sincerity in her eyes. "Miss Shen, I came here today to offer you my most sincere and solemn apology. Back at the wedding, I acted without thinking and judged you solely on your clothes, mistaking you for a waitress. I publicly insulted you, calling you a gold digger, and in a fit of rage, I actually slapped you. I was spoiled, petty, and utterly disrespectful. My words and actions must have hurt you deeply. I felt so guilty ever since. I've regretted it so much. Over the past few weeks, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on my behavior, and I truly realize how wrong I was. I am so sorry. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me." Her apology was deeply sincere and heartfelt, and her eyes were filled with remorse, regret, and genuine warmth. There wasn't a single hint of pretense or obligation. I looked at her and said, "I forgave you a long time ago. Everyone makes mistakes, but being able to admit them and change is what truly matters. The fact that you've reflected on this and come to apologize shows that you've truly grown. Just focus on your life and live well from now on." Hearing this, Yu's eyes welled up with tears. A relieved, grateful smile spread across her face. "Thank you, Miss Shen. Thank you for being so generous and forgiving. I promise I will change. I won't be spoiled, petty, or childish anymore. I'll love Jinshen with all my heart and live my life right. And I truly hope you find your own happiness soon, too." I nodded slightly. "Thank you. I wish you and Jinshen a lifetime of happiness as well."
Yu smiled.
A smile that was warm, gentle, and completely sincere. Gone was her usual arrogance, replaced by nothing but relief and warmth. They shared a knowing smile, and all the old friction and grudges completely vanished into thin air. The ice between them had finally melted. From that day on, they became friends, wishing each other the best as they went their separate ways. 1 year later, a top-tier national industry summit was held in a beautiful coastal city. As the key executive of the Shen Group and a rising star in the industry, I was invited to attend. My makeup was elegant and subtle.
My style sharp and sophisticated.
I was completely calm and confident. Standing in the crowd, I stood out without being flashy, radiating quiet strength and grace. The venue was packed with socialites, industry elites, and powerful corporate heavyweights. The fled broad young minds had all gathered under one roof, making the atmosphere buzz with energy and professionalism. During the mid-session break, I stepped out onto the terrace alone. The gentle sea breeze brushed against my face, carrying a hint of salt and the sweet scent of flowers, welting away my exhaustion. Staring out at the vast blue ocean, my mind felt incredibly peaceful and free. Right then, a gentle voice sounded among me. "Miss Shen, I've heard so much about you." I turned to see a man. He was wearing a casual suit, perfectly tailored to his frame. He had a warm, refined presence, looking incredibly clean and sharp. His features were strikingly handsome, his eyes clear and gentle, and he wore a modest, warm smile. He radiated an elegant, steady composure and a pure, refreshing energy. This was Liu Yuxin, one of the country's top architects. He came from a highly respected scholarly family with an impeccable background. He is incredibly talented, making a massive name for himself in the industry at such a young age. His designs are beautiful, yet highly practical, earning him endless praise. Yet, he doesn't have a single bit of that typical wealthy heir's arrogance or cold, calculating motives. He is genuinely warm and humble, respectful to women, and always knows how to empathize with others. Hello, Mr. Liu. I smile softly, my voice calm and gentle.
The Sepson walks up beside me.
His gaze warm as he looks out at the distant sea. I didn't expect to run into you here.
Miss Shen.
I've heard for a long time that Miss Shen is young and capable and fiercely independent. Seeing you today, you truly live up to your reputation. His words are so genuine, without a hint of empty flattery,
Filled only with sincere admiration.
I offer a faint smile. You flatter me, Mr. Liu.
the two of us stand side by side on the balcony as the gentle sea breeze brushes past, chatting easily about anything and everything. We go from discussing industry trends to design aesthetics, from our work philosophies to our outlooks on life, and from our deepest dreams to life itself. There is nothing we can't talk about. The chemistry between us is effortless. He is brilliant, with such unique, insightful perspectives, so elegant and refined in the way he speaks. He's incredibly gentle and thoughtful, always listening intently and respecting my opinions, never trying to force his own views on me. Being around him feels so effortless and free, so peaceful and comfortable. He is nothing like Gu Jingchen, who's so incredibly arrogant and flashy. But are you obsessed with status and so cold and aloof? All they care about is money and saving face. But he is gentle and humble, so clean, so pure. There's no calculation in his eyes, only sincerity and respect. Being with him, there is no pressure, no mind games, no feeling wronged, only ease, safe, comfortable, and free. And this inexplicable sense of peace and heart-fluttering excitement. We hit it off from the very start. We admired each other, completely drawn to one another. Our values matched perfectly, our interests aligned. The longer we spent together, the more in sync we became. We could read each other's minds. After the summit ended, we naturally stayed in touch. From occasionally talking about work to sharing our daily lives, our feelings slowly heated up, like a gentle, steady stream. Everything fell into place so naturally. There was no grand, dramatic pursuit, just gentle companionship and treating each other with pure sincerity. He respected my independence and my career. He never held me back, never possessive, never demanding. He quietly supported every single decision I made, caring for me so gently, paying attention to the smallest details. He spoiled me until I didn't have a single worry in the world, but he never crossed the line. He always respected my boundaries. When I was busy, he'd quietly bring me warm coffee. When I was exhausted, he'd whisper sweet comfort. When I was happy, he'd be genuinely thrilled for me. And when I was down, he'd just be there, holding me close. This love, it's so pure, so clean, completely free of any hidden agendas. No transactional motives, no calculations, only genuine love, respect, understanding, acceptance, and holding each other close. This is the life I've always longed for, yet never dared to dream of. Such a beautiful reality. 1.5 years later, King Jinchen and Zhuzhe held a warm, romantic, and an incredibly sincere wedding. There was none of the lavish extravagance, transactional politics, or fake socializing of a typical high society marriage. There was only genuine love, the blessings of family and friends, simple and pure. The wedding was held on a stunning seaside lawn, overlooking the deep blue sea, with pristine white sands, surrounded by endless white roses and pale purple hydrangeas. The sun was warm. The breeze was gentle, making the entire scene feel romantic and healing. Bi Jingchen stood in a custom white suit, handsome and composed, gentle and refined. His eyes were filled with nothing but adoration and deep affection as he locked his gaze onto Xie, seeing absolutely no one but her. Xu wore a simple, elegant white wedding gown, her makeup delicate and soft. Having shed her past arrogance and self-will, she had become incredibly gentle, graceful, and breathtakingly beautiful. Her smile bloomed like a flower, her eyes shining with pure happiness and joy. There weren't many guests at the wedding, only their closest family and dearest friends who truly wished them well. Without any fake pleasantries or forced socializing, the atmosphere was deeply warm and heartfelt. My father and I, as longtime family friends of the Gus, were invited to attend the wedding to offer our most heartfelt blessings. During the ceremony, Bai Jichen held Xiu's hand, his gaze tender yet resolute. He made his loving vow. Xiu, I'm so sorry. I ignored your feelings for far too long, and I put you through so much pain. For the rest of my life, I will only cherish, protect, and love you with all my heart. I will never, ever leave your side, and we will be together forever. I will never let anything hurt you again. This Yu weighs well with tears, and they stream down her cheeks. He nods eagerly. Jingchen, I've waited so many years to hear you say those words. I'd always loved you and waited for you. For the rest of my life, you're the only one I'll ever love. I will be by your side forever.
The two of them share a deep, passionate embrace,
filled with complete happiness and contentment.
Thunderous applause erupts from the crowd
as everyone offers them their most sincere blessings.
Once the wedding is over,
Bi Jingchen walks up to me, with complete sincerity in his eyes.
With gratitude in his voice, he says, Miss Shen, thank you. Thank you for your generosity, your understanding, and for letting me go. It made me realize where my heart truly belongs and gave me the courage to be with you. Thank you, and I wish you eternal happiness. I smile slightly. Congratulations.
and I wish you both a lifetime of happiness.
See should be forward as well. Thank you.
Miss Shen, thank you for your forgiveness and your blessings.
I also hope you find your own happiness soon. I nod slightly, with a warm smile. Thank you.
Looking at how happy they are, I am genuinely happy for them. Everyone has broken free from the shackles of their past mistakes
And found their own true love and happiness. That is truly wonderful.
6 months later, Liu Yepsen and I held an incredibly romantic, simple, pure,
And love-filled wedding.
The wedding venue was set in a valley filled with blooming white jasmine and pale blue woodland flowers, surrounded by lush green mountains,
with a babbling brook, warm sunshine,
and a gentle breeze. The air is filled with the sweet scent of flowers,
so fresh and healing.
Far away from the hustle and bustle of the world.
so peaceful and beautiful.
There was none of the typical high society luxury and extravagance.
No fake socializing, no superficial pleasantries, and no marriages of convenience. Just our closest family and dearest friends, sharing their truest, most heartfelt wishes.
It was simple,
Pure.
romantic, and incredibly healing.
I was wearing a simple, custom haute couture wedding gown. The lace and embroidery were delicate and exquisite, and the skirt flowed so effortlessly as I moved. My long hair was pinned up in a loose, soft updo, adorned with just a few fresh white jasmine flowers. My makeup was light, natural, and soft, and my eyes were absolutely glowing with pure happiness.
I felt completely at ease, confident,
And truly beautiful.
Liu Yepsen was standing there in a tailored, light gray suit.
He looked so gentle and refined,
so handsome.
and bright,
His eyes were incredibly warm and adoring.
locked onto me, and never wavering. He looked at me with nothing but absolute love and devotion,
My father looked at me.
his eyes brimming with pride, joy, and a touch of bittersweet reluctance.
He had a gentle smile on his face.
Truly, deeply happy for me from the bottom of his heart.
Chairman Gu.
Along with Gu Jin and Gu Xiu, also came to share their warmest wishes.
Their smiles were genuine.
And they were truly, genuinely happy for us.
During the ceremony,
Liu Yepsen took my hand in his. His gaze was incredibly tender, yet so unwavering.
He looked at me and delivered his vows with deep emotion.
Shen Yu,
Meeting you is the absolute greatest blessing of my life.
for the rest of our days, I will love you forever.
Respect you and protect you.
I will cherish you for the rest of my life, and I will never, ever leave your side.
Liu Yepsen, thank you for coming into my life, for giving me your warmth,
Your respect, and so much love.
For the rest of our lives, may we always understand each other through life's ups and downs. Share every joy together.
and walk hand in hand through this beautiful, endless world.
Growing old together.
Hand in hand,
Loving you forever, never leaving your side.
we exchange our rings.
And pull each other into a deep, loving embrace. Surrounded by the blessings of our family and friends, we made our lifetime vows. Completely happy and fulfilled. Everything is perfect. Just beautiful.
No hidden agendas, no business deals tied to it,
No forced compromises.
no bitter sacrifices, and no scheming.
Just pure, unconditional love.
Treating each other with absolute sincerity and cherishing every single moment. This is the kind of happiness I've always wanted.
After the wedding, life with Yishin became peaceful and warm.
Simple, yet incredibly happy.
Like time itself has slowed down just for us.
The lingering warmth of our wedding day hasn't even faded yet. And my life, as Liu Yepsen's wife,
Is unfolding in a beautifully slow, gentle rhythm.
stripped of all the noise and vanity of high society, far away from the chaos and drama of the past. Our home is nestled in the quiet suburbs of the city,
With its simple white walls and gray-tiled roof,
and an elegant, peaceful courtyard,
the corners of the yard are blooming with roses.
filling the air with sweet fragrance across all 4 seasons. A winding bluestone path leads through the garden. In the afternoon, the sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled golden light onto our wooden swing. It's so gentle, so quiet.
Beside me, Yepsen is sleeping so peacefully.
His features look so soft and relaxed. His long eyelashes casting soft shadows, and his profile is unbelievably gentle. He always knows how to make everything perfectly cozy, leaving the blanket draped gently over my shoulders.
It carries a faint, clean scent, that crisp, woody scent that belongs entirely to him. I sleep out of bed quietly,
My bare feet stepping onto the cool floor, and walk over to the window. As I push it open, a gentle breeze brushes against my face,
carrying the scent of garden flowers and the sweetness of morning dew.
In the distance, the emerald green mountains rise gracefully, shrouded in a soft, swirling mist. The gentle chirping of birds echoes nearby. Time feels incredibly,
unbelievably gentle.
A soft, quiet rustling comes from the kitchen.
Lu Yesen is already awake.
He's wearing a light gray apron, busy preparing breakfast.
His movements are so calm and effortless.
The delicious aroma of frying eggs drift through the air. The rich scent of coffee fills the room as warm sunlight bathes his figure, casting a soft, gentle glow around him. It is a moment of pure, peaceful bliss.
Yoshin pauses for a fraction of a second.
Then he turns around with a gentle smile. He reaches out and softly ruffles my hair, his eyes filled with pure warmth and affection.
You're awake? Breakfast is almost ready.
His voice is so soft and tender,
Laced with a hint of morning drowsiness, his gaze is clear and bright.
and in his eyes, I am his whole world.
Breakfast is simple yet beautifully prepared.
Shade,
Sandwiches, a fresh fruit salad, and a cup of warm coffee. Sunlight dances across the table.
we sit across from each other.
Chatting softly and sharing quiet laughs. No loud noises, no schemes or hidden agendas.
Just a simple, comforting sense of warmth and security.
In the afternoon, the sunlight is absolutely perfect. I sit on the swing in the courtyard, flipping through a design portfolio. A gentle breeze rustles,
Sending a few jasmine petals drifting down onto my shoulders.
Yasin is sitting nearby in a rattan chair, catching up on some work. Every now and then, he looks up at me. His gaze is so tender, and he can't hide the smile in his eyes.
No endless business meetings.
No cutthroat power struggles of elite families, only the quiet comfort of each other's presence. Time flows so gently now,
We've both let down our guard and shed our sharp edges.
and found true peace. We are independent and free, yet we lean on one another. This is exactly the kind of life I've always dreamed of.
Simple and pure.
A peaceful, steady happiness. As the evening sun paints the sky in shades of crimson and gold, and the warm afterglow bathes the courtyard,
We stroll side by side.
the evening breeze blows gently with the sweet scent of flowers lingering in the air. We chat about the little things in life
And share how our day went.
Our steps are slow, and the days feel beautifully long.
Occasionally, Shenzhen Bangle Muminfrei will drop by for a visit. The aroma of tea drifting through the courtyard. We reminisce about the past and catch up on how we're doing now.
The atmosphere is warm and welcoming, just like old family friends, and our deep bond shines through.
Jackson and see you. Occasion, Bible, be little gifts.
Their smiles genuine. Our time together is completely effortless.
There's no awkwardness or distance, only a peaceful, easy friendship. As the days pass by, they are quiet, but warm.
Simple, yet healing.
Time is incredibly gentle.
And our world is so peaceful.
1 year flows by slowly. I remain deeply focused on my career. My design studio is growing steadily. With our talent and solid reputation, we've built a strong name in the industry.
I've become independent and capable.
Poised and confident.
Lu Yesen's design career is thriving as well.
Winning countless awards.
Yet, he remains as gentle and humble as always.
Never losing sight of why he started. We support each other, helping each other succeed. Independent in our careers,
Yet deeply bound in our hearts. There is no codependency, no suffocating ties.
we are lovers, and we are soulmates. In our free time, we love to travel.
Watching cherry blossoms in the spring. Summer days spent by the sea. Autumn days, chasing the breeze. Winter days, watching the snowfall. We traveled across mountains, rivers, lakes, and seas.
Taking in the beautiful sights this world has to offer. Walking hand in hand, time felt slow and sweet, our love growing deeper by the day. Our travels weren't filled with luxury, just the pure comfort of each other's company. So peaceful and so effortless. We watched the sunrise, waited for the sunset, listened to the waves, gazed up at the starry sky, shared our deepest feelings,
And held each other through the exhaustion.
Through the years, our love settled into something incredibly deep and true. Sometimes we just stayed at home, cooking together, tending to the plants, reading books, watching movies,
Finding little pieces of pure happiness in our simple daily routine.
Lo Yasin's cooking kept getting better.
Always making my favorite dishes while I learned how to tend to the garden. Now the flowers and plants are thriving.
Bursting with life.
Once life stripped away all the glamour,
We returned to what truly mattered.
a life that is quiet, but filled with so much love.
Simple, but incredibly precious. Meanwhile, Kujinshin and Gushu's lives became sweeter and more stable by the day.
Pankichin put his restless past behind him, becoming focused, steady, and reliable. He managed the Gu family business smoothly and efficiently. Meanwhile, Gu Siyu outgrew her spoiled ways,
Becoming a warm and caring homemaker.
often dedicating her time to charity. Living with a kind and open heart, the two of them remained as deeply in love as ever, often traveling the world together, or just enjoying each other's company at home. Their days were filled with warmth and harmony.
Making them a couple that everyone admired.
With the Gu family business growing steadily, Pijing was able to enjoy his golden years in peace, spending his days sipping tea, tending to flowers,
Taking long walks and catching up with old friends.
with his children and grandchildren gathered around him. He lived a life of complete peace and happiness,
The partnership between the Shen and Gu families grew stronger than ever,
supporting each other through every challenge and achieving mutual success.
becoming the ultimate model of business allies and lifelong family friends. A bond that only grew deeper and stronger with time.
All the past grudges and betrayals, long washed away by time, leaving behind only the scars of our growth. No more hatred, no more regrets, Only peace, forgiveness, and absolute closure.
3 years later, Lu Yosin and I are still as madly in love as the day we started. Our careers are absolutely thriving. And we have a daughter, the most adorable, sweet little girl.
Our little family of 3 is warmer and closer than ever.
It is pure, uninterrupted bliss.
Yosin is still the same gentle, loving man, showering me with endless love and care, and completely doting on our daughter.
He is the perfect husband.
And a deeply devoted father.
As for me, I have found my own strength and peace,
Balancing my career and family beautifully, living a life of true stability and joy.
Feeling whole and completely fulfilled from within.
行进圈的戏谑，而老走某人落单恶满。
Their son is lively and sweet, while Jinshin's devotion to his family has only made their business thrive.
Their home is filled with warmth.
In their beautiful life, Jinshin has grown so mature and steady.
Pouring his heart into running the business.
He fiercely protects his wife and loves his son, while Siyu manages their home with such grace and warmth. The alliance between the Shen Yu families has only grown tighter,
Supporting each other through everything, rising together in perfect harmony.
A deep, unbreakable bond forged across generations, standing strong and peaceful for years to come.
Old Master Shen Jinbang is peacefully enjoying his golden years, healthy and surrounded by his loving grandchildren, living a life of true health and contentment. In their spare time, the two families always gather together. The courtyard is always buzzing with life, filled with endless laughter and joy. The kids run around and play together, innocent and carefree, while the elders sit back and chat.
It is a peaceful life, where the adults share stories, laugh, and bask in this beautiful, harmonious atmosphere.
A picture of perfect harmony and happiness.
Years later, on one warm afternoon,
The roses in the courtyard are in full, glorious bloom,
filling the air with their sweet, delicate scent.
under the warm, gentle embrace of the golden sunshine.
A gentle, warm breeze blows. Liu Yexin and I sit side by side on the swing, with Amena right next to us.
Beaming with a bright, radiant smile, Thinking and Gusio arrive with their children.
Their smiles warm and genuine.
The picture of perfect harmony. Everyone is wearing a warm smile, filled with deep happiness and peace. No more grudges, no more distance,
And absolutely no regrets. There is only harmony and pure joy.
Looking back at the past, that ridiculous wedding farce is now nothing but a distant memory.
everyone has finally let go of the past, forgiving each other and moving on
To find their own version of a perfect ending.
for the rest of our days.
Time will treat us gently.
And our world will be complete. Liu Yesin and I now have both a son and a daughter, living a life of complete bliss.
Gochin and Suye have a peaceful, loving home.
Their devotion to each other as strong as ever.
The lifelong friendship between the Shen and Gu families endures,
Always there to support and lift each other up.
everyone has truly put the past
Behind them, making peace and letting it go.
Each of us steps into a future of happiness. Year after year, may this joy stretch out before us,
Making this life whole and complete.
with absolutely no regrets left behind.